What's up, Saints and Eights? Welcome back to another episode of Music and Makeup. This is a special segment I like to call Behind the Beat, where I sit down with artists who are making serious noise in their lanes. Today, I'm chopping it up with one of Buffalo's finest rappers, entrepreneurs, and all-around powerhouse. If you've heard her new EP, Set It Off, you already know that she's using her voice to tell real stories, and she's doing it with style and substance. We're getting into all of it today, the making of Set It Off, her creative process, balancing music with running her baking business, and what it really means to bet on yourself. Welcome to the podcast, Pretty Bulli. Welcome to the podcast. And for people who might be new to you and your music, how would you describe yourself and your sounds in your own words?
Real life music, not just an artist. I really speak from life experiences. If I talk about it, it happened.
Now, you've been building steadily this year. What has been the highlight of 2025 for you career-wise?
I would say being able to mingle amongst goats that I looked up to for my entire career. Now I'm in a space where I'll get a phone call. Oh, well, can you come in and come to this event with people that I looked up to forever, So I would say the networking on a higher tier has been definitely the highlight for 2025.
How did you get into music?
Oh, man. I started with poetry. I was a baby. I think I was maybe 13, something like that. I was a baby when I started writing, but I've always been competitive, always. And I've always been a tomboy. So growing up in a fruit belt, it's mostly boys, They used to do a lot of freestyling and like going upstairs in my neighbor's house and like setting up little studio equipment to rap. And I used to just watch them do it at first until one day I had enough nerve and I jumped in that little cipher and it was over from there.
Who were some of the first rappers that like really made you fall in love with hip hop?
Oh, man. I've always loved music, but when it came to actually putting myself into music, I would have to say The Brat, Missy, Eve, Jadakiss. The Locks was top tier for me. Wu-Tang, MC Light, Queen Latifah.
Yeah, MC Light was like one of my, I think, first rappers, period. Like one of my very first favorite rappers, period. Paper Thin was like, first time I heard that, it felt like, she was just getting off on it, listen. And I just fell in love with rap. And MC Light was just like one of my favorites. I could just listen to her rap all day. Now, tell me about your first time performing. Now, I know you said you jumped in some freestyle ciphers. What was your first time performing like? And what did you learn from like that experience?
This is fun. Nobody's ever asked me that. Well, the first time I ever performed, I'm trying not to swear, it was terrible. It was terrible because I was so young and it was more like I was out with because I used to rap with the guys from my neighborhood. So when we had shows and things like that, we were together. So the hood that I grew up in, you were either drunk, smoking, something. Like it was some type of pregame before we went out. So I learned early on that alcohol was not my friend when you perform. I was so winded and it was like, it was awful. So it was a lesson learned.
I was gonna say,
going to do this, we won't do it like that,
No, that's good. It's good that you learned that lesson early. Your delivery has that very perfect mix of like grit and confidence. How do you decide when to lean more lyrical versus being more vibe and storytelling driven?
It depends on what the beat says to me. Like I literally, and I know people think that sounds weird sometimes, but those beats talk to me. Depending on what the beats is like, immediately when a certain type of beat come on, you may get like a stink face, and it's like, oh, this is coming straight from the gut, And then other times it's like, oh, this made me think about my daughter, So it depends on what that beat is talking, But I listen to it. I definitely listen to it.
A lot of your lyrics blend strength with vulnerability. How do you find that balance between storytelling and like maintaining, some privacy or something for yourself?
I stopped separating the two. And this is fairly recent for me. I'll say maybe within the last 3 to 4 years. At first, I wasn't really vulnerable in my music. It was just it was all bar heavy, and I would let you know what I wanted you to know. You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
one of my brothers, he told me a couple years ago, he was like, as soon as you could start being vulnerable in your music, the floodgates gonna open. And boy, was he right. Like as soon as I
Mhm.
start being transparent in my music and just talking about me, my own life experiences, you got endless content. You don't have to think about what's right. It's happening. You know what I mean? And it's never easy to, especially to tell things that you wouldn't normally tell people. But I had to coach myself into the fact that once I'm releasing it, it's no longer for me. Somebody else needed to hear that.
That's definitely the power in telling your story and being able to like connecting with your audience when you do like show people, a little deeper and a little other side of yourself. Now, let's get into your EP, Set It Off. What made you choose the name for that project and how does it tie into the theme?
It is so funny you asked that because this project was named maybe 3 different names prior to. So shout out to PA Dre. He was the one that said, "Nah, I think we should just keep the name of the," you know what I mean? Because it had, I think it was called Survival Instincts. It was a bunch of different names
Now,
prior
Set It
to.
Off work.
Yeah, but it
Hmm.
made more sense to pay even more homage to the movie, by
Hmm.
keeping the name and letting people know where it was inspired from. So shout out to PA Dre for that. He was the one that had the final say on calling it Set It Off.
Okay, and my next question was about PA Dre that you linked with him for the entirety of this project. How did that collaboration come about, and what is y'all's chemistry like in the studio?
We actually never had a chance to get in the studio because we are in
Okay.
separate places. But
Okay.
shout out to my brother Elvis. He is the same one that told me about being vulnerable in my music.
Okay.
He is the one that set up that connection between us, and he let me hear some beats that he had, and I told him immediately, I want these. So he let me know like how fast paced and about business PA Dre was. So I knew when I approached the situation, I needed to be ready. So when I first
Mhm.
initiated the project, already had 3 songs ready, just so he can know the direction I was going with it, just to see if he was okay with it.
Uh-huh.
So I had to basically put a resume together, but that was cool.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you have to, people want to see what you're working with and that you just as
Mhm.
serious, that you got some skin in the game too. Sometimes you have to do that to get things off the ground. Now, on your site, you describe Set It Off as telling stories from the perspective of Black women navigating everyday challenges. Which track do you feel captures that message most powerfully?
From my own perspective, I
Hmm.
think they all had their own power.
Uh-huh.
Each track had their own power, its own struggle. But what I connected to the most was TT.
Okay.
TT, because I am a single mother. I've never lost my kids, thank God, but to even think of that
Mhm.
ever happening, I was able
Yeah.
to put myself in her position. Like, even the things that led up to her losing her baby, like not really getting paid much from your job, having to take your baby to work with you. Like, I've been there, every last one of those situations,
Yeah.
like it's hard being a single mom. And then the
Very.
government is like, it works against you. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? They want to keep you at a certain level, so you always need help. So man, I related to her more in my personal life.
Your EP features songs like Discrimination, Not the Same, Procedure, Black Queens. What inspired the song Procedure? What was the creative process behind that?
That was one of the first ones that I did. Oh man. First of all, the beat that he gave me, it immediately made me think of Frankie. I don't know why, but it did.
Mhm.
It immediately made me think of her. And her story was very relatable as well. Like, especially when it comes to Black women, we get the discrimination that we get from where we live, who we grew up around, and especially trying to go up a tier when it comes to where we work. It's
Yes,
insane. It's insane. We got to
very.
work 3 times as hard as a Black woman to even get the same recognition as a new hire from a different
Ye-
nationality. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
So,
yes.
like, it was more than just the movie. Like, I have 4 sisters, And I watch my sisters struggle when it comes to things like that. Like one of my sisters is a nurse, one is an accountant. You know what I mean? So we don't get the same recognition that we should when we work
Mhm.
like 4 times as hard. So
Yes.
this song it was like therapy. This
Mhm.
whole EP was like therapy in different ways when it came to it could have been just me, it could have been my sister, it could have been my cousin, it could have been my best friend, but it's all things that we go through all the time. I just found a way to connect it to the movie.
With the length of the project, every track has to really count. How did you decide which songs were going to make the cut, and which were there ones that you decided to save for later or that had to be scrapped, for whatever reason?
I don't work like everybody else. So like
Okay.
when I came into this, I knew exactly what I was gonna do. I'm gonna make one project per woman that's in this movie. And then, but I knew it wasn't enough. That was so when you have an EP, it's typically 5 to 6 songs. So
Mhm.
after talking to PA Dre, I went back to my old high school days when it came to writing a project, a thesis or something. You have an opening, you have a closing, you got a body of work, so
Uh-huh.
that's how I approach the poem. And the end of it is like, okay, well, I'm gonna open this with an intro and then I'll
Mhm.
close it out. So that's how we came up with 6 tracks. It was just because I knew for a fact I only wanted the 4 girls. I have suggestions, but I only wanted to do those 4 girls.
I think that is so efficient. It cuts out that having to pare down songs that you didn't want. What's the feedback been like since you've dropped the project? There any reactions that have really stuck with you?
It has. My algorithms have changed a lot since then. I get put into the category of like your ghost face and things of that nature. And it's like, oh, like that's for the
Okay.
idols. So
Yeah.
I love that. I
No,
love
that's a
that.
high compliment.
It's putting me in a different eye when it comes to my creativity. I love storytelling. I've already always done like bits and pieces of it on my projects, but never a full length one. So it definitely tripped the algorithm a little bit. I like it though.
Yeah, I think that is such an important part of hip hop is being able to tell a story. It's nice, you have like bars and you can put together like, a lot of one liners, but to be able
Uh,
to construct the story through your rhyme and put them in a time and a place and describe and, like really put them there through your song, that is a talent. Not everybody can execute that and get that either. And Ghostface is one of those, I think, one of the best storytellers,
yeah.
super descriptive. I said, sometimes I know there's budgets, but I feel like it's an injustice. Sometimes we didn't get videos for some of his songs because he rapped it so clear to you. It's like, I need to
Mhm.
see this. Does it look the way in my head that somebody else would direct it? But that is an excellent compliment. Now, I know you did drop a visual for Set It Off, but are there any additional visuals or performances coming in support of the EP?
I'm actually gonna do a visual for every last track, every
Okay.
one.
Oh,
Like
okay.
it's only right. It's only right.
Yeah.
Now, really, what I'm trying to do is because I've already painted the picture. I got the
Mm-hmm.
visual for. I made you think of a visual, so
Mm-hmm.
I really want to capture those moments from the movie and make you
Mm-hmm.
feel it. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting into character for
Okay.
each character. I'm excited about this too because this is it's actually putting me in an acting bag without acting.
Yeah.
So it's new for me, but I like this. I'm excited about
That's going to be good. Now, when people finish listening to Set It Off, what do you want them to feel or to take away from listening to this?
Well, for one, I'm pretty sure you're gonna want to watch the movie afterwards.
Hmm.
It's like, wait a minute, I gotta watch this again.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I really want people to understand not even the struggle of Black women, but the way that movie was written, it was so in depth and there was more layers to it than just robbing banks. It was so much
Yes.
more to it. So
So
much more.
much.
So I want people to look deeper, to listen harder, you know?
And that is when you say that that movie had so many subplots and like you said, deeper subject meanings. Like I said, it was the one girl like losing her baby, but it was, Jada Pinkett trying to keep her brother in college
Yeah.
and navigating and working to pay for that and that dream that she had for herself, finding love. Vivica Fox trying to, deal with disrespect at work. That has made me want to go back and watch that movie tonight because
Yes.
I'm just thinking about all of these different like plots. It was just such a good movie. Now, you've dropped solid projects before, like Then and Now, before this one. How do you feel that your sound has evolved from you dropping, your first works to now?
Vulnerability. Man, it
Hmm.
seems like every project that I drop, I'm just more transparent than before. Then and Now was the first time I allowed myself to be transparent in my music, and
Hmm.
that was rough, mama.
It was right. It's like that was hard. I'm a Scorpio, so I completely understand about what it's just you want to hold something for yourself sometimes, and it's like
Uh-huh.
if I put this out, I'm putting this out about myself. I just, an exposure. That's what it feels like,
Yeah.
an exposure, and sometimes we have to learn to get comfortable with that. And I think in music, I
Mhm.
I commend you because it's hard to put yourself out there and to expose soft parts of yourself or
Oh.
parts of yourself that are just like, yeah, it can be hard. I can completely understand that being like a process and something to, have to ease into. You had a
Mhm.
big moment performing on Sway. What was that experience like and how did it change how you see yourself in the culture now?
Oh man, I've actually been blessed to go there twice now.
Okay.
Um, just again this year. It's changed everything. It really has. I'm the type of person that I never feel like I'm working hard enough. There's always something else to do. There's always something else to learn. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
when I accomplished that, I was so in awe being in the moment that I didn't really see it as an accomplishment. It was just an experience for me at first. So it
Uh-huh.
wasn't until like maybe a year after, and it's like, damn, wait, I did that. It took me a minute, but it
Uh-huh.
wasn't until I got the reaction from the public that it's like, "Oh, wait a minute.
Hmm.
I need to move a little different here."
Yeah.
So I had to actually allow myself to experience it,
Mhm.
and take that as a level up. I didn't at first. It was just, I can't believe I met RZA. It was just, man.
Sometimes when we're in the moment, we don't realize like how big it is. And like you said, you step back away and like, wow, that was a big thing. Now, how would you describe Buffalo's hip hop scene for someone who's never been there?
Active. It's very active. Yeah, it's a lot of different types of music. Like when people hear Buffalo, they think of Griselda, they
Mhm.
think of a certain type of sound. There are all types of music in Buffalo. It's
Mhm.
like a gumbo. It really is. If you looking for a certain type, I don't care if it's neo soul, R&B, alternative, you got all kinds of music here, and it's some really dope artists in Buffalo. So I'm happy that it is a light being shined here. I love my city, and shout out to all the artists in it.
Speaking of, who are some artists that you think people should be checking for right now? Speaking of shining a light on artists in Buffalo.
Ooh. Well, I would have
Mm.
to say my favorite right now is Case Closed. I love
Okay.
her to pieces. She is fire. And like I'm one of those type of artists where I like to feel what I'm hearing, you know?
Mhm.
Like if I can listen to you and tap into what you're saying, I can vividly picture it and I feel like I know you more after I listen to it. I'm tapped in. I'm
Yep.
completely tapped in. I really love her music. And you kind of put me on a spot, but there's a lot of people that I do enjoy though. Genesis is another one. He
Okay.
is fire. There are a lot. Oh my goodness.
But it's okay. You don't have to name all, but there, like you said, there's a lot, and I just want to tell my audience, make sure you all go check out, some artists in the Buffalo scene, because, like you said, you all have like a wide
Mhm.
arrangement of different types of music. I'm gonna check out the artists that you said, but I'm always looking for new music from different places. Now we're gonna shift
Absolutely.
gears to your
Okay.
baking business. So how did that come to life? How did you get started baking?
Oh man, coming up in a big bag family. That's all I
Okay.
got. Like we
I
like
feel
cooking
you.
over here.
Same over here.
So, like my great grandmother, she always had me in the kitchen with her, whether it was tasting something or if I was just watching her. You
Mhm.
know, my sister also has her own catering company. Shout out to Shy Catering. It's just something we do, you know. And before my father passed away, that was always something that I I looked forward to bringing him a plate, trying a different recipe, you know, whether it was infused or regular, you know what I mean? Like,
Uh-huh.
here, dad, taste this. I love the response of feeding people,
Mhm.
you know? So that was always a thing for me.
Was this something that you always loved, or did it start as a side hustle? The business itself started as a side hustle that turned into something bigger.
I actually didn't connect the two until recently. It was just always something I did as far as like doing it for people that I loved, you
Uh-huh.
know? But until I'll say maybe like 2 years ago was when I incorporated the two and started using my baked goods as my merch because it's me.
Oh.
Like I tried the avenue of doing t-shirts or selling CDs or but it felt forceful. You know what I'm saying? I
Mhm.
felt like I was like pushing my music down somebody's throat. Like, okay, well, buy this t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? Like it never felt right to me, you know. So
Mhm.
the first time that I brought a whole lot of different types of cookies. And it was crazy because the crowd didn't know that I was an artist. They were just
Uh,
genuinely coming to this table to buy cookies. And then I
uh-huh.
happened to get on the stage. It's like, oh no, wait a minute, you spit too?
Right.
You know? So
Right.
I'm like, okay, I think I found a happy medium because I was able to be myself at this table and just tell
Uh-huh.
them, well, baby, try this one. Well, do you like this? Do you like that? I was just being me, you know? And then it was a bonus that I got on the stage and I was able to show a different side of me. You know, a lot of artists they don't get to find that happy medium with their self. You know, so
Mhm.
that was a blessing. It's fairly new to combine the two, but it feels good though.
I think that's where you have the most success, when you're doing the thing that when it just flows and it's not something
Mhm.
forced. What are your signature treats, or what's like your biggest seller or most popular item?
Oh man, as of lately, and I'll say like maybe the last 2 months, the strawberry crunch cookies have been going crazy.
Okay.
The peanut butter is always the top seller, peanut butter and chocolate chip. And as far as the infused items, the bully juice. But right
Oh,
now, as of the last especially the last couple months, these strawberry crunch cookies been going crazy, mama. Like
okay.
it's been a little hard to keep up with them, but I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Okay. And the bully juice. Now that's like infused juice.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
ma'am. Yeah.
I love a good infused juice. Now I will say that. I love those. Those always get you there the fastest. Now,
Mhm.
what's the biggest learning curve that you found like running a business?
Ooh.
As
Um,
someone who has ran a business or attempted
yes,
to a few
ma'am.
times, I understand that.
Your price is your price,
Yes.
period. Business
Hmm.
with family and friends don't always mix. And if you are trying to elevate with your business, stand on your price. Because if you too busy gearing to people that are used to you, they'll try to keep you to do what you used to doing. You know what I mean? So I had to step out the box a little bit, you know, and
Hmm.
most of my orders come from out of town. Stand on your price.
Yep. There is somebody that is willing to pay it. My commie is always he sells his albums for what, thousands of dollars. But I say they
Uh-huh.
sell out. Somebody is, but people say that's too high. I said, but somebody, they buy that $3,000 album. I said his albums are
Right.
sold out. So I said,
That means
somebody's
it's
buying
not for
it.
you if it's too
Right. It's
high.
just right. It's not for you. I said, but
Mhm.
somebody is buying it. I said, so why wouldn't he charge that if he knows that's what he can get for his product? We already talked about you tying your baking and your music together. What's a funny or memorable baking story that people might not expect?
A lot of people, especially when it comes to the edibles, now it's like when I go to any event, they
Uh,
always ask me, "Is this regular? Bully, is this regular?"
oh Oh
Because I
goodness,
make
this is
everything. I make
uh-huh.
everything from the food to the juice to ice cream. I make everything infused too.
Oh,
So
even
it's
ice
like,
cream.
girl, listen, I'll get you
Oh,
right.
even ice cream. Okay,
Yes,
yeah, I've
ma'am.
never
I will
had
get
that.
you
Okay.
right. So it's now it's like anytime I pull up with food, people are hesitant to eat it because they don't
Mhm.
know if it's in it. So it's like, no,
Right.
baby, it's safe. You can eat it.
This the regular type. This is regular. Now, for other artists that you know that are trying to balance multiple hustles, because I've talked to a couple artists, they have like a day thing, and then they rap as like secondary.
Mhm.
What advice would you give them to help keep from burning out?
Incorporate it all because it's all you. Like you
Mhm.
figure during the day, I'm a phlebotomist. I work in the morning during a phlebotomist, you know what I mean? But I
Mhm.
still, even like on my lunch break, whether it's recording a freestyle, answering emails, when I get home, I'm writing verses for people, I'm taking orders. Like it's me all day,
Mhm.
like you just have to, without burning yourself out, don't sign up for too much. Pace
Mhm.
yourself.
Mhm.
Set deadlines and attack those goals. Because for a long time when I started, it was just I felt like I had to do everything. It's okay to say no. You do what
Yes.
you do what you're supposed to do. And if it's for you, it'll happen. I don't
Mhm.
sign up for too much.
Speaking of that, do you see your baking brand expanding to something bigger, or do you like where you've scaled right now?
So I'm thinking big,
Mhm.
babe. Absolutely, I'm
Okay.
thinking big. So eventually, and I'm gonna speak this into existence. Eventually,
Okay.
my food truck will be my traveling me for my shows, the cooking, everything. I'm pulling up one stop shop. So that's
Ooh,
that's the goal. Coming
that,
soon.
and that's incorporate, and that's like you said, incorporating everything. And I've
Mhm.
seen food trucks at concerts. People love them, so I'm touch and agree that happens for you. You're juggling music and business, and of course, real life. What keeps you grounded when things, get a little crazy?
I got babies. You know what I mean? Well, my son is not
Mhm.
a baby. My son is
Yeah.
23. My daughter's
Okay.
17. But I
But
also
they
got
still
two
babies.
grandbabies. They looking up to me to do this. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like this life don't stop. Just because life be life and don't mean I can go in this corner and cry. Nah, you
That's
you,
right.
you got this.
That's
And
right.
movement is required. Like
Hmm.
it's too many people depending on me for me to sit down or sit and
Yep.
wait. Like nah,
Uh-huh.
motion is required.
How do you define success at this point?
Success is, to me personally,
Hmm.
success is making goals and actually accomplishing them. Because success looks different to everybody. I
Yep.
used to think success was based on money,
Hmm.
but I value other things more than money.
Yep.
So I now I don't think like that now. So when I'm making these goals that I want to do for 2025, if I accomplish them, I have been successful this year. So
That's
my
right.
success is based on what I'm setting for myself, not how other people view me.
5 years from now, where do you see yourself musically and professionally?
Ghostwriting full time.
Mm.
Yeah, that is to be behind the scenes is where I don't want to say where I'm most comfortable, but it is. It is
Yes,
what
I
it is.
think.
Like the light is not something that I wanted, if that makes sense. But in order
Hmm.
to let people know what I do, I have to step into it. I've learned to embrace it, but that the goal of mine is not to be the next big star. No, but I can help create one. Yes,
So let our
ma'am.
audience know where they can find you and tap into your music and keep up with what you have going.
You can find me on all social medias. Instagram is pretty_bully, and that's Bulli. Facebook is also I am Pretty Bully. YouTube is Pretty Bully, and you can also catch me on my website. That's where you can place orders for vinyl, baked goods, infused products, and also inquire about features. That is prettybully.com.
Thank you so much, Pretty Bulli, for coming and pulling up to the podcast and talking to us about your career and your baking, and of course, Set It Off. To my audience, make sure you all go check Set It Off out. It is on all streaming platforms now. And also go check out her website and follow her on social media so you can keep up with everything that she has coming next. If you've enjoyed this episode, make sure you like and subscribe or share this with someone who you feel needs to hear this. And don't forget, you can catch the video version of the podcast on YouTube. Until next time, Saints and Ain'ts, love you. Bye.